Great sportsmen write their own scripts, but they rarely have much input when it comes to the final scene. Donald Bradman, Muhammad Ali and Usain Bolt are among those whose goodbyes were accompanied by the strange sensations of failure and anticlimax. With a few exceptions, the sporting gods don't do sentiment. So when the World Darts Championship begins on Thursday night at Alexandra Palace in London, one topic will dominate conversation: whether Phil Taylor can end on the biggest high of his 30-year career. The 57-year-old will retire after the World Championship. He has won it 16 times and, though he keeps saying he will enjoy his farewell party come what may, he is fooling nobody. In December 2012, when Sir Alex Ferguson discussed retiring with his wife Kathy, he had one stipulation: I really need to go out a winner. And so he did. These people do not think like us. It's not the taking part that counts, it's the taking a part of their opponents. It's hard to imagine Taylor, the ultimate winner, accepting anything other than lifting the Sid Waddell Trophy on New Year's Day. As long as Taylor stays in the tournament, everything will be about him. There is no precedent for this, nothing that prepares us for how dramatic and emotional his story is going to be. It might last 2.5 weeks, it might last 2 days. All the main contenders dread the potential embarrassment of the first round. Taylor is likely to be pretty nervous when he starts on Friday night with a slippery tie against the talented Chris Dobey. Taylor won the tournament 13 times between 1995 and 2010. Since then he has been champion only once, in 2013, when he delayed the passing of the baton to Michael van Gerwen with a memorable 74 victory in the final. While he is not the player he was, his devastating victory at the World Match Play in July is a precedent to which he can cling. Taylor summoned his old aura of invincibility for 1 week only, bending the tournament to his will and wiping the floor with everyone. That included Van Gerwen, who was hammered 166 in the quarterfinal after being unsettled by a viciously partisan crowd. Taylor, whose recent post-match comments have been eccentric and sometimes spiteful, taunted Van Gerwen in a live interview after the game and said he should grow up. Van Gerwen savored his revenge at the Grand Slam last month, when he defeated Taylor 168 in the semi-final. The pair argued backstage during a break, when Taylor berated his opponent for celebrating, and Van Gerwen told him he was being a knob again. Their relationship has broken down in the past year, or, rather, Taylor has broken it down. He manufactured the row in an attempt to drag Van Gerwen back towards the pack and get under his skin, a fascinating tactic that was working extremely well until the Grand Slam. The tournament draw is such that, if they're to have one last meeting, it will be in the final. Eddie Hearn's services would not be required to hype that one. Van Gerwen, who plays the former BDO world champion Christian Kist on the opening night, is the odds-on favorite. He ends 2017 as he began it, looking close to unbeatable. Yet in the middle, there was a major wobble. He lost against Taylor at the match play, went out of the Champions League at the group stage after another defeat by Taylor, and was astonishingly beaten in the first round of the World Grand Prix by John Henderson. Since then he has won 4 TV titles in a month and 28 games in a row. Overall, it has been Van Gerwen's leanest year since 2014. He has won only 18 titles. The other main contenders are the old firm of Gary Anderson, who loves this tournament and was champion in 2015 and 2016, and the ultra-consistent Peter Wright, who should play, despite being taken to hospital with suspected gallstones at the start of the month. Much has changed below the surface though, with a number of new stars emerging. Daryl Gurney, the cocksure, clinical Northern Irishman, won the Grand Prix and is world number 4. The quirky Austrian Mensur Suljovic provided one of the feel-good moments of the year when he celebrated with childlike joy after winning the Champions League, and Rob Cross, who turned professional only in January and has already won more than £200,000, is the revelation that keeps on revealing. The order of merit is calculated over a 2-year period, which means that, despite his staggering debut season, Cross is ranked 20 in the world. Yet he is 5th favourite to win the title, ahead of some heavyweights such as Raymond van Barneveld, Adrian Lewis, James Wade and Dave Chisnell. They have had poor years but are likely to be invigorated by the rarefied atmosphere of Alexandra Palace. That atmosphere will be more boisterous than ever, such is the relentless growth of the sport. Last week the PDC chairman, Barry Hearn, announced that entry fees were being abolished, and prize money continues to rise. When Taylor won his first World Championship, the BDO version in 1990, he received £24,000. This year the winner will take home a record £400,000. Taylor would love the money, but not as much as he would love to go out a winner. 5 players to watch. Michael van Gerwen, the reigning world champion, is the complete player, a barely beatable mixture of genius and mental strength. He has recovered from a mid-year wobble and goes into the tournament in terrifying form. He has won his last 28 matches. Last year he ended a painful 3-year wait for a second world title. Now he wants to establish an Ali Pali dynasty. Gary Anderson, the 2-times world champion, might be the most humble genius in sport. He has slipped to number 3 in the rankings, below Peter Wright, because of his mixed displays in lesser tournaments. But he loves the long, set play format of the Worlds, and nobody on the circuit makes 180s look so effortless. Peter Wright. It's been a bittersweet year for Wright, the most consistent player in the world bar Van Gerwen. He won 11 tournaments, a total previously managed only by Van Gerwen and Phil Taylor, including his first TV major, the UK Open. But he lost in 3 finals: the Premier League, when he missed 6 starts to beat Van Gerwen, the match play and the Grand Slam. Phil Taylor, the greatest player of all time, will retire after the tournament. He is not as devastating as he was, particularly under extreme pressure. But he can be merciless if he gets an early lead, and the timing of his finishes is often sadistic. His win in Julie's World Match Play, when he played like it was 1999, is compelling evidence that he has the capacity to win a 17th world title. Rob Cross. He has never played at a world championship but will start as the 5th favourite ahead of some huge names. He has earned over £200,000 in a sensational first year that includes 4 Players' Championship victories. He was unfortunate to lose 2 classic matches against Van Gerwen, one in the group stages, one in the quarter-finals, at last month's Grand Slam.